Yeah. All right. I don't know what happened, but you know what? The devil is alive.
Yep, we're back.
I'm back. I really just went black. That is so unusual. Um. Okay. But anyway, I was asking a question, and I was saying, how do you navigate dating? Um. What are the boundaries within your leadership? Um. Can you even tell who's okay is now? You know what? Maybe some even the incidents in jail. Or what? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, we have created a culture of transparency in our movements, or rather in our ministry. So we know when people are dating. There's no, and the way we have structured everything, it's impossible for you to lie. Like it's impossible for you to date and nobody knows,
Okay.
because of how we have structured our discipleship. So then when you speak of boundaries, and of course not everyone follows them, but there's simple things that I believe, like English. I believe in English.
Mm-hmm.
So when the pastor says in English, you may kiss the bride. It
Mm-hmm.
means before that moment of you may, it was may not. So
Really?
that means the first kiss should be in the altar. Now, if you guys have been kissing, actually, we are supposed to say you may continue kissing the bride because you've been kissing the bride. So continue where you left off. So this thing you may means that it's the first kiss. The first kiss is supposed to be in the altar. I'm not going to go to touching and sex. That is completely forbidden. But a lot of people want to keep it at okay, kissing. No, you can't kiss. If you honor God, dating is friendship. That is why you can take many people out on a coffee date. It does not
Mm-hmm.
mean
Mm-hmm.
you in a relationship with them. When you're dating, you getting to know a person, they're getting to know you. It that's opportunity to build friendship.
Prophet, when you date, you don't kiss your girlfriend.
Nope. The longest relationship I had was 5 years. No
Okay.
kissing, no nothing for 5 years.
Wow. Okay. Now let me ask, how does that conversation come into the relationship? Is the girl also aware? Wusi, this is she expectant of the same thing coming in? Or do you guys have a conversation about it and how does she receive that?
Remember when you can take each other on dates, building friendship, and then when you want to advance to a relationship, a special friendship, you communicate these things. So now you don't advance to special friendship if your values do not align.
Wow.
That is what the Bible said, don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers.
Yes.
But
Yes.
unbelievers that not necessarily means those who do not believe in Christ. It may mean those who are in Christ, but they don't believe in the principles you believe in. So they are unbelievers of the principles that you believe in. So don't be unequally yoked with those people.
Whoa. Okay. I was actually having a conversation with a friend, and she actually was saying she recently got married, and she was actually saying the same thing, and I was like, and I think they have been together now for like 4 years, and
Mm.
she was saying that they haven't kissed, and their first kiss was at their wedding, and I was like,
Hmm.
4 years, guys, 4 years.
Yeah, it's possible.
Can I really believe you? Like, can I? Onions of Opie, or what is this? What is
No,
what
it's
is this
possible.
game that we are playing? 4 years is
Possible.
a really long time.
Yeah, a lady in our church made an example actually about avocado. All right. Um, and she said when you go to Spar or you go to Woolworths and there's avocados, you want to see which one to take and you want to check if they're ripe and you touch them like this, and then you choose which one you want. And then when the fifth or the 10th person comes and then they take the avocado and then they pay for it when they get home and they cut it open, they will see that the avocado has black spots, and the black spots are from people feeling it, trying it, trying to see if it's ripe or not. And this lady in our church was saying, women, don't be an avocado.
No,
Don't be
I
a
remember
person.
that was
You
Ellen.
remember
I
that?
think Ellen Counter. I remember that.
That encounter, exactly. So don't let guys touch you anyhow and kiss you and let me tell you, soul ties are not just sexual soul ties. It's emotional soul
That's true.
ties. So
Yeah.
flee from sexual impurity. Because yabona nje, lento kissana, it's not a mwah. It's tongue to tongue, lips to lips, amate namate, I go, ijulile leyo nto leyo. When you do that, it's a covenant.
Yeah.
That is why we say you may kiss the bride. It should be in the altar. Don't do strange things before commitment. And that is why I always say to girls, if the guy is not willing to pay the price, then they don't think you are worth the price. So don't be cheap.
I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
That was gonna be my next question. That do you believe in the whole thing? You with a man must work to have the girl. Is that a
Yeah, but girls should not do nonsense as well. Should not play hard to get and no. Sometimes girls are
I
actually
mean, I extra. I agree with that.
please,
But here's the thing.
if a guy pursues you and you like the guy, I pour into you, you pour into me. That's how it should be. Not this thing of nah, he must work. Please. Vele, he must pursue you. He must pursue you, but don't now think you're the Queen of England.
Okay.
Take it. Yeah, no. Sometimes girls are like playing hard to get
It's
too hard.
too much.
Yeah, don't do too much.
So when is it too much? When is it too much?
Yeah, when
Because
girls want to
I
over.
have this thing that I was
Yeah,
discussing with my partner,
yeah.
and I was saying, Ugoti, it's almost as if guys are mafunu kushela nowadays.
No,
That's what I
listen.
was saying.
We've been rejected a lot, so we
Oh
don't
my
want to.
guys,
Well,
really? Oh,
we don't want to over pursue, then find ourselves at a point of rejection again. So siyenza nje kancane, and then you must show that you're interested, and then we can start
you know what I
vibing.
have a difficult time with? I have a difficult time when it comes to, let's say, a guy is pursuing me, and then I almost feel like there's an expectation that I must pursue back. Then I'm like, no.
Okay.
I
I'll give
immediately,
you
I'm like,
I'll give you an example, all right? I took a girl out on a coffee date. Now I asked her the right questions, all right? She answers, but she doesn't ask me back. I
okay.
go immediately turn off, immediately. Because why don't you ask me back? So now I took the initiative to ask you out on a coffee date.
Okay, I can hear.
I decided which coffee shop to go to. And of course, I'm going to pay the bill because I'm the one who called you out.
Yes.
And then I lead the conversation. I ask you the right questions. The best thing you can do is ask me back.
I can
Right.
agree with that. I don't have a
And
problem with
then
that.
after date, I drop you home or you drive home or you Uber home, whatever. Then it was great meeting you. Then it was great meeting you too. Fine. In the morning, hi, how are you? I'm good. How are you? And then, but now, if I'm always the one to lead. If I don't say, hey, how are you? You will not greet me. Angeke. Ngaqhophoza yami.
So, Manag, are you saying, Ngozi, if the next morning, are you expecting that she also is saying, hello, how are you? Is that that the
And
expectation as well?
not too early. I don't have that expectation. I can say it. Um, I can greet you in the morning and hey, how are you? But show interest. Flow
I
flow with the
can agree with
conversation.
that.
Don't be boring. Don't
Yes.
just don't be boring. Don't send me one word answers. No, 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 no. No, no, madam.
Okay, you know what? I can concede to that and I can agree to that because it's realistic. I can agree. Um but, okay, let me ask you maybe like this. Ushela kanjani? As a pastor.
There's no formula. And there's no pastor when
Uh,
it comes to salary.
but no, but like as a pastor, it can't be the same
It is. I think
as everybody else.
yes, akukukushela komfundisi. Musande, umushela nje uyaphela. You take a person, you show interest, you take a person out. One thing I do not do, I don't play games. Ngimdala man.
Okay. Okay.
Ngimdala, I have
Did
to
you
play games.
do you ask in Nkonzo, do you ask it in within the church space? Or do you have that with you? I don't ask within the church space. Maybe I ask someone else
Not
somewhere.
within my church. Not
Okay.
within my church. I don't do that within our church. Like I will not date anyone within our ministry. Because it causes complications. I've seen guys in our church. I've seen guys in our church date girls, and then girls end up coming to our church or whatever the case is, or they come together dating. When they break up, one of them will leave, and usually it's a girl because the girl is now emotional and she does not want to be at the same place with the ex. Now imagine if your ex is your pastor. How do you really receive from him? Because now you know him in the most human level, and it's
Yes.
not easy for you to receive from him anymore. So the best thing for you to do is leave the church. So that is why in the past 7 years, I've never complicated my life by dating in the church. It does not end well.
Okay. That's Shem, that I'll concede to that one. I only asked that because I have a very I don't know how I feel about that rejection one. God, like I must put a pin on that. It's Yogo's semi rejects because if you come to a new girl that girl has nothing to do with the rejection. I
Yeah.
agree on the point of
Trauma.
saying,
Trauma.
no, deal with your trauma before you come to me.
No. There's trauma that stays with you forever. Hey,
Because you were rejected.
let me tell you, girls are strange human beings. Yeah, so good. They were listen. A woman was in the garden with her man, bone of the bones in the garden. She left the man and left everything else and went and spoke to a serpent. Went and spoke to a serpent. She started something new, something unheard of. So,
Our prophets.
on behalf of Amajita, it's too much. Not
But guys,
Jehovah.
let's be real. Let's be honest. That girl has Iron Gangaluso. She has the capacity now to fully express. We can't be thinking about how you guys have been also rejected.
But girls must do better, please. This is my advice from a guy's perspective. Emantombazane, do better. Nyahluleka. Yo, girls of the last days.
Is it actually the guys? I think we need to decipher now who's failing at what.
Amantombazane ahluleka bafethu. Yes, Sam.
Because just now you said love is a choice, right? Meaning you've probably made, okay, what has made you not marry the people that you have been with, that you have dated?
Yeah. So if I realize that we're not on the same track, like we are unequally yoked, you may be believing, but you don't necessarily believe in my principles. It's not going to work. Nothing else will figure it out. We'll see when we get there. That's a recipe for disaster. And
Yes.
love is a choice, but you make an informed decision. Love is a decision, but don't go to it blind. Make an informed. Now, dating is a vehicle that helps you make an informed decision.
Right. True.
One of the girls I've dated, her coping mechanism was alcohol. So when she is frustrated and stressed, she turns to the bottles and get drunk. And I don't judge her for that. I was there to like, hey, I'll help you out of this. We're together in this. Okay, I'll never do it again, do it again, never do it again, do it again, never do it again, do it again. And eventually I had to think, is this what I want? Yes.
Yeah, I'm here to.
Yeah, me, I've hurt many people.
No. Specifically, like heartbreak. Have you given a woman a proper heartbreak where they are like?
Yeah, because now, like the heartbreaks I've given women is because they want me and I don't want them back. And then my wish because of that, and then I'm trash. But the women that I've dated, the ones I've dated, actually, I'm tempted to do a live video next week with one of my exes. I'm tempted to do that.
Ah, perfect.
I'm tempted to do that next week. I'm tempted to do that next week.
That's another thing. Are you still friends with your exes?
The other one, when I said that the last one is like 3 years ago. The 3 years ago one, I think she really got hurt because I broke up with her, right? Well, I've broken up with all my exes. I've only been broken up with once, but all the other times I decided I propose I am. So the 3 years ago one, after we broke up, she blocked me and all of those things. And then she even left the country, went to Holland, for a healing. And then that's where she stayed. And then she found a person double her age and got married. So I'm not friends with her. And then the other one, the one who broke up with me, the one who hurt me, I'm not friends with.
Now we can do that. You take a prophet.
Hey, yabona nje bafowethu. Inhliziyo yami sengiyanqaba nayo manje. Sengiyanqaba nayo. But that one we called last year because umnganakhe wayelokhu engihlupha, so to call her, hey umnganakho. Then we spoke and there's no blood between us. And then the other one that I dated for 5 years, we still chat on WhatsApp, we stay friends. Yeah, I don't have many exes. I'm not a player, so I have like 1, 2, 3, like 4.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I'm just asking because that's a whole debatable thing. Yoguzi, that whole friendship with exes and
I think we
that.
don't have to hate them, but you can't have a close friendship again. So, but you don't have to hate. And of course, right now I'm not in a relationship. And once I get into a committed relationship, then it's jumped.
Then
I
you
can't be friends.
have to, yeah.
I can't. Not just with her. Not with her. I can't be friends with girls. Yeah.
Okay, that one's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
once I'm in a committed relationship, because I also cannot expect my girlfriend to have a male bestie, yet I'm there.
Yeah.
Nenzani no pe-
The male bestie thing is a bit too far, but just friends.
Yini ndabona abangani babafana ashone kumantombazana.
How maybe ukule nabafana abaningi, ukule, like there was just that whole.
Awukwazi, abafana always have an agenda. I'm a guy, I know. A lot of guys have agenda, usually.
And she's faithful.
No, but the problem is when you and I are having issues, because we will have issues. Now, you go to your friends, your guy friends, for comfort.
Then we get people on your shoulder.
Musanje ukwenza into engenzima. Intombazane must not have guy friends.
Yes,
My mom is
I
my
think
mom
is
is 65 years with my dad for 45 years because we are now my guy friends. Even when my dad was staying at Mampara, my mom did not have guy friends to turn to because guy friends will give you a hug and then something will develop from there. So no,
no guy
run.
friends, no woman friends
No,
on both parties.
once you're in a committed relationship, baleka, iba nabantu abaziyo of different gender, but
Okay.
they can't be friends. You know them. It doesn't mean you hate them,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't be your friends. A friend is something very deep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And why ukufonelana all the time, singachekana, seeing how you are, that type of thing.
You no, you can do that. You can.
Okay. But isn't that friendship?
Not all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but
I
if
hear you.
like
I hear you.
if like you guys are, but a guy friend can't take you out on a date, just you for
I
catch
hear
up. But if maybe your friend group from school, and there are your guy friends there, you guys are going out or whatever, by all means, I don't even need to be there.
you.
I trust you, I'm secure in our relationship, it's fine. But don't now say I'm meeting Sipo. I'm like, okay, Sipo and who? No, just the two of us. What are you guys doing? Catching up. Aibo.
As men are
Muhlolo.
very emotional. I'm full of mush. Men are
Why?
very men are very
Muhlolo.
Hmm?
I ngoba
There's, there's
if
there's
a
a whole
guy,
lot of T's and C's applies
if
here.
a guy, if a guy were to say, Ngiyabuya ngisabona uMichaela. Hi, but who's Michaela? No, my friend. Okay, it's just the two of you. Yeah, no. It's just for drinks and then catching up.
Mm.
Women are like, no, I'm coming with you. Yeah, but I'm like, no, I don't want you to come. We just to catch up.
Yeah.
Then you're suspicious.
No,
So this thing of
song.
exactly. So that thing of personal friendship with guys or with
Right.
girls as a guy, it brings complication.
I can
So
understand.
avoid it as much as you can.
Let's take a question. Do you think the church does enough to educate men on dating and preservation?
It doesn't do much, not just men and women. That is why most of our women are broken, most of our men are broken. And they're not broken by unbelievers, they're broken by believers.
Yeah.
The issue with men is not dating. The issue with men is how to be a man. Men don't even know. A lot of men don't even know how to be a man.
Men are
You know,
told by women what to be.
exactly. Exactly. So then a woman would say a man must.
Yeah.
Then you try to be the after must because you want to be a man that the woman say you should be because you don't know what a man is and how a man should be, and there's no security in who you are. So that, and a lot of guys grow up in a fatherless home. I'm privileged enough. I'm one of very few who grew up with my mom and dad in the same house, and learned from their mistakes and learned from their good times. So I have that privilege. But I've seen that a lot of guys, even in our church, I've had to teach them how to be a man, how to be a man in a relationship, how to lead and not allow a woman to lead you. Because women love a guy who leads them, especially if you're dating a strong-willed woman. They need a man. They don't need, okay, if you want. No. They need a man who say, we're not doing that. Who say, no, that's not how we do it. And the women were meant to be led. That is what God created, a man first, then a woman. Men brings protection to the woman. Men brings glory to the woman. Men bring leadership to the women. So if we get our men right, we will get our women right as well. So the first thing we need to do, get our men right, then by virtue, women will be right. So I do agree with the fact that in as much as there's men who are being abused by women, but once we get the men right, we will deal with the biggest issues of humankind, your GBV, your LGBTQ plus I community. We solve a lot of those issues when we deal with men and teach them how to be a man.
Yeah, I think maybe to just also just I believe that one of the ways that can be conquered is through discipleship.
Yep.
100%. But I think the biggest thing is that I've come to realize is that not a lot of men want to be discipled. I think men have that ego thing. I just won't be led by another man. Which of course we can dive really deep into it. But I think it all boils down to discipleship, having someone you can follow. You need to have someone you can follow. And that's the recipe.
Yep.
Because even as women, no one just magically it's drawing from one, maybe not even one, but a number of people that you can create yourself in.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry?
No, I'm saying I agree with that fully. Yeah. So, yeah, it's
with that one.
Following somebody.
By all means, watching all these. We even have Abu Andrew Tate nowadays, where it's.
Guys, you must watch. You must watch Ndlovu's and Kat. Don't watch Andrew Tate. You must watch Ungani Ndlovu and Stephanie. Those are the guys that people must watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get to them in a few. But I want us to jump to, you have spoken about anxiety quite a lot. I can relate a lot to anxiety, something I'm on and off with as well. But how do you deal with your anxiety?
I swim. Yeah. And of course, this is prayer is primarily, it's important that we pray. But people might not be all spiritual, because anxiety is both spiritual and physical as well. It means your mind is overloaded and all of that. Now, a couple of years ago, drowned almost to death, and this happened twice. So I grew up with the fear of swimming because I've almost died in water twice. When this year I experienced extreme anxiety after my brother passed away and all those things happening and life becoming pressure, then I was diagnosed with chronic anxiety and depression again. And I was prescribed medication, which I started using. Then eventually the medication didn't work. And long story short, but then I had to eventually think, what is my biggest fear in life? Then I remembered water, because I've drowned and almost died twice. Then I was like, hey, anxiety, I'm going to swim. And I remember I was so anxious because I'm facing my fears. I'm not a coward. And I started swimming. Now, when you swim, there's two things that you have to focus on. Stay afloat, control your breathing. When you do that well, water will not come in through your mouth, your nose, therefore you will not drown. You can stay afloat, and then when you feel like you need oxygen, you have 2 seconds to get oxygen. So you stick your head out and get oxygen for 2 seconds, and then you continue again and focus on staying afloat and controlling your breathing. Now, I apply the same principles in life. Swimming have taught me to not drown in life. In life, I've learned to stay afloat, to ensure that in whatever I'm going through, I must stay afloat. If I feel like I'm losing air, I can't breathe, which is anxiety, stick your nose out, get some oxygen, and it's okay to breathe. So people have to understand that it's okay to breathe. And you have being anxious does not mean you don't have faith or you're an unbeliever, whatever the case is. Usually anxiety attacks people that are high performers, because you are a high performer, because you set goals for yourself. You are a doer. You are not a person who speaks. then you get anxious because you want to see things being done. It's also for people who want to be in control. So I've had to learn that there are things that I'm in control of, and then there are things that God is in control of.
Yeah.
Like when I'm swimming, I'm in control of my breathing. But then I can only be under the water for a certain amount of time. Eventually, I will need to breathe. I will need oxygen. Now, when I need that, I need to stick my head out and breathe. So now I'm not in control of the oxygen levels in my body. That's beyond my control. But I can control how I use it while I'm swimming and staying afloat. The same is true in life. I must control in life the thing that I can control and let God control the thing that only He can control. So with swimming has really taught me a lot when it comes to dealing with anxious emotions personally. So on top of prayer, on top of talking to people, on top of therapy, ensure that you do activities like running, swimming, boxing, or punch, or whatever the case is. Find something else to do that will help you with your mental sanity.
I really struggled with that, with what you just said, that for me, my anxiety was more on the, I think when I felt the feelings of like, I can't, like as if I don't have faith. And then I would like really, 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 really struggle. And then that would result in me being unproductive. So I'd stop everything that I have to do because then I don't feel like I've got it. Like I don't feel like I've got the faith. So then my anxiety shoots up. Then I'm like, I'd rather just feel this thing, engifilayo of anxiety, and just then I would just shut whatever it is that I have to do, shut it off. So I've had to almost like learn, because it's not a faith, an unbelief thing, or whatever the case is. So what I tell myself in the moment where I have to do something that causes my anxiety to rise, and I just tell myself I'm gonna do it anyway with the anxiety. So
good.
yeah, so whether it's I have to speak, or whether I'm doing something public, whether I am just challenging myself just in my everyday life, but it would stop me. That thing of just feeling like, I struggled with that part,
Yeah.
with just faith. I don't have it. It's almost as if I was inadequate in my position spiritually, because I have anxiety, because I have this feeling of being anxious. So then now I'm like, okay, now I'm able to be like, okay, I'm feeling anxious. Why am I feeling anxious? If most of the time it's because I have to do something that is just a bit outside of my norm.
Yeah, and
then I just,
it's okay. It's okay to be. You see, the word courage is a combination of boldness and fear. That means you are fearful, you are intimidated, you are afraid, but you'll do it anyway. So that's what courage is. Be strong and courageous. It means do it scared, do it unsure. That's what courage is. When you say you are a courageous person, it does not mean you didn't doubt. It does not mean you didn't feel scared and all of that. You were, but you decided to take a bold step. And I think another thing that our generation had to redefine is depression. Sadness and depression are two different things. Don't just because you're sad, then you think you're depressed. Deal with sadness as swiftly as you can. Prolonged sadness leads to depression.
That's true.
So it starts as a feeling of sadness. But don't because you're sad, now you're depressed, you want to pump the medication. No, you are sad. It's normal. Sadness is an emotion. It's an emotion God has given us. So process the sadness, but don't dwell in the address of sadness. Don't do that yourself.
The one thing that I'm haven't mastered, but I think I learned, it's just the ability to control your emotions, because that's the one thing that misleads everyone. Your emotions, and how you overreact based on on your emotions. That's we are dictated. We decide on based on that, which is I think the biggest thing. But anyway, let's I want us to talk about you have a big event coming up.
Yes. I
Very
have a single
unconventional.
conference. I know. I was attacked by a couple of pastors for
Really?
hosting that conference. Yeah. So they think I'm a
Mm-hmm.
part of the last days. I'm like, yes, I'm for the last days. I'm for the last generation. I'm for this generation.
Right,
This generation will be saved. This
right.
generation will know the truth. I believe in this generation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
But yeah, as I was saying, that it's a very unconventional conference. I was like, oh, like when I was going through your Facebook, I was like, wow, Prophet is just doing this thing. Hey, he's like just going on this path. But what can a person expect coming to this event?
right. Expect healing, healing and healing mainly. Your inner healing, your emotional healing. Of course, there's things like how to date the right way, how to know a person is the one, how to wait in grace and patience. And of course, we bring Rory Sang. Rory Sang, we bringing Rory
Yes.
Sang, who is 32 years and is single and a virgin. And
And
then we bring in, she's a virgin. Okay,
oh,
at the
okay.
age, yes. And this is something that she has shared publicly. So we're going to bring her in to speak on those issues and the importance of purity and waiting patiently for the Lord. And then we bring in Hungani and Stephanie, then Lovus and Kats. People know them from TV and all of that. So they are YouTubers, influencers, and but more than anything, they are children of God who dated and their relationship led into a friendship, into marriage. And actually, women would love to hear Stephanie and Hungani's story because Stephanie played a huge role in Hungani noticing her.
Yeah.
But I don't want to spoil the fun. The guys must come. The girls will really enjoy Stephanie and Hungani's story. Trust me. So we having them come there as well in this conference. We have people traveling from near and far coming in. Tickets are on sale for that conference to control the numbers, but to also ensure that you have people who really want to
How
be
do
there.
people
That
get
have to
their
be done.
tickets?
There is a poster on my profiles. If you go on my profiles, you will see Singers Conference, and then you see the faces, and then there are banking details there. So you pay, and then you send a POP to the number provided, and then we send you a link for registration.
Okay. That
Yeah.
sounds like fun. If I don't know if I'll be coming back from Joburg, but if I'm doing those days, I might just take a
Yeah.
short leave. We'll see.
December
But
8th and 9th. People must come. They'll really enjoy it.
okay, that sounds very fun. But yeah, there's so much I could ask you, but I mean, we only have a certain time.
Mm.
It's people have things to do as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much for taking your time out and just diving into these little conversations. I hope people were changed by our little bits here and there. Um,
Mm.
but one thing I always say is that they should see you preach, then everything makes sense. But everything will make
Yeah.
sense. But thank you for these nuggets of wisdom that you've given us today. Really honored. I was very excited about it, especially after the live that I watched on your Facebook. I was like,
Yeah.
I have to ask him
Yeah.
questions. Um,
Awesome. Awesome.
but
No,
yeah,
thank you so much. Thank you for hosting me and for having these conversations and praying God's blessing over you and that He may perfect that just concerns you as well.
thank you. Okay, to end off, you can ask me one question.
One question.
Just try not to make it too hectic. Just a simple a simple
No, I'll
life.
ask you a simple question. Um, As a black young woman, if you're to be given an opportunity now to change one thing in a country that struggles with economy, racism, gender-based violence, and all these things, what would you change? One thing.
Gender-based violence, but with equipping the woman while they're young. I think it's one. I think there's a whole level of there's the woman who's going through the violence, and then there's a woman who's growing up seeing the violence. There's a lady who is growing up who can fall victim to this violence as well. So
Awesome.
it's a matter of equipping the young lady in that. Of course, gender-based violence comes in many facets, but it's just equipping the woman. If you get into a relationship, when is it toxic? When is it time to leave? When do you see that it's too, all these equipping self, strengthening self, and equipping women to not, not fall victim of I understand the violence that happens when you are just walking and you get raped and all these other things, but I'm more specific about the ones in relation.
Okay, that's good.
So just equipping the young lady to be firm in yourself and to just not fall victim and to remove yourself whenever the situation is toxic. I'm more passionate about the young lady, making sure that you are not used.
That's good.
You are not, that you know yourself, your identity in Christ is so rooted that whatever your background is does not define you. And as you grow, people cannot utilize your past to make you a victim.
That's good. How should we vote next year?
How?
How should we vote next year?
Yo, that's a tricky one. How should we vote?
Yeah.
Can I reserve my answer for that one? Simply because I'm not dead set on an answer.
Okay.
I'm not dead set on an answer for that one. I think I have opinions on a lot of
Yeah, okay. So my question is not who, it's how.
Okay. Do you want to expand and maybe make me understand a little bit more?
As Christians, how do we vote next year? Not who to vote for. What are the guidelines that
we should take?
That the guideline that should lead us to who to vote for.
Prayer all the time. I believe in that you should pray. That I always, when the election season, take some time out to actually pray for that season. So pray about to not be swayed by what social media is saying and what the stats are and everything about that, but go from a place of going into fasting and praying and actually hear where Holy Spirit is leading you to I think that's the guideline, to just spend time in prayer and be sure in that.
So good. Awesome.
Answering the question.
Yep. Thank you.
What's your take? Because that was the second question. That wasn't one question.
I would advise everyone to read everyone's manifestos, the main political parties. Study and read their manifesto. Check if it aligns with your values and with what you stand for. Because when you pray, you must pray in understanding. That's what the Bible says. It said pray in the spirit and in understanding. So understanding means you must understand what each political party stands for. Don't make an emotional decision. Don't make a decision just because media is telling you this person is bad, this person is great. Make your own decision, not influenced by media, not influenced by anything else, or even your spiritual leaders. make a decision based on make an informed decision. So study the main political parties' manifestos, pray after that, and hear how you should vote. But one thing I can say, vote for change
Mm-hmm.
and vote differently from the past 28 years.
I hear you.
That's where I'm stopping.
I hear you. And yeah,
Yeah.
100% agree with that. But anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate this. Hopefully, next time we do something like this, it's actually physical. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate you taking the time out to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emilia. Keep well.
You too. Bye.
Bye.